Afternoon, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. We are joined by Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone, Southampton Village Mayor Jesse Warren, Town of Southampton Supervisor Jay Schneiderman, Suffolk County Legislator Bridget Fleming, Town of Southampton Council members John Bouvier, Tommy John Scavone, and Christine Preston Scalera, Village of Southampton Deputy Mayor Richard Jastrzemski, the Village of Southampton Trustees Kimberly Allen and Mark Parash, and Town of Southampton Trustees Ed Warner, Bruce Stafford, and many from the DEC and other agencies. We're very happy to have you all here today. So I also want to thank my staff who've been working really hard at DEC on this incredible project led by Carrie Gallagher. Harmful algal blooms are an emerging problem here, not just in New York, but really nationwide. And we all know that the reasons for this surge in algal blooms are complicated, but they are due in large part to the way we treat our water and also to the changing climate. We also recognize that the trick to stopping these algal blooms is to obviously prevent them from happening in the first place, putting an enormous amount of emphasis on protecting watersheds. And that's something that Governor Cuomo has done and has really pioneered nationwide right here in New York in protecting watersheds. Over the last 2 years since the governor convened a Harmful Algal Bloom Summit, we've put $82 million into source controls, source water protection controls, in order to stop the occurrence of these blooms. But we also know that when blooms happen, we have to do something about them. We can't sit idly by, and the governor has tasked us to look aggressively at what technologies we can begin piloting, testing, and bringing to play to places like here on Agawam when you have a bloom that's threatening a community. And that's what today is all about. You can hear the generators and the machines moving right now. We are launching today a pilot technology. It's never been used in New York. It is effectively an algae harvester, which is drawing algae from the surface of the water here in a controlled environment. You see the booms behind us, drawing algae into a machine which then separates the algae from clean water, treats that water, sends the water back in. We send the algae off to disposal at a county treatment facility. Again, this is the first time we're doing it in New York. This is a pilot demonstration. What we intend to do with this is learn whether it works, what scaling it needs, so that we can apply this then elsewhere around the state. We've had algal blooms not just here in Agawam, but really statewide, and we need to know whether or not a technology can help us address this problem moving forward. This will be a 2-week test. We want to have 10 solid days of operations on this lake. We'll take that science, that data, and again apply it to our considerations over the winter and determine how to apply this next year during the next algae bloom season. None of this would have happened without the incredible commitment of a single person, and that's Governor Cuomo, who over the last 2 years and really prior to that, has taken a particularly aggressive look at the problem of harmful algae, its impacts on recreation, its impacts on drinking water quality. And this is really emblematic of the governor's approach writ large on the environment. We talk a great deal today about what's happening in Washington and the collapse of environmental protection at the federal level. You don't have to look any further towards to find out where the country should be heading on the environment than looking at what New York is doing under the leadership of this governor, who frankly has been pioneering water quality protections, climate change, addressing the problems of climate change, renewable energy, and you could go down the list, and there's nothing that this governor hasn't actually pushed forward on environmental protections and clean infrastructure, clean economy. So without further ado, I want to introduce the great governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here on this beautiful day. I consider it a beautiful day. Any day that I'm not in Albany is a beautiful day. So, first, I want to thank Commissioner Sagos. Commissioner Sagos and his team at DEC literally are the best environmental agency in the United States of America. So, I want to thank them. County Executive Steve Bellone, who's been ahead of this issue from day one, Long Island really is, in some ways, the test case for the greatest environmental challenges in the state. And Suffolk County, under Steve Ballone, has really taken the lead. So I want to thank him very much for his leadership. To the mayor and the trustees, thank you very much for participating in this demonstration. It hasn't been done anywhere else in the state. You organized very quickly. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you. To Jay and all the local officials who are here, thank you very much. As the commissioner said, it's relatively straightforward, and it's frighteningly straightforward. We are in a race to save the planet. This is not just a state issue or a United States issue. It's an international global crisis that we're facing when it comes to the environment. And I think we're all aware of that now. Unfortunately, and a compounding irritant is we have a federal government that is just blind to the issue. So that basically leaves the states on their own to figure out what to do. And New York is not going to sit by and wait for Washington to figure it out or wait for anyone else to figure it out. We have actually taken the lead nationwide in stepping up and addressing the issue of climate change and the related issues from one end to the other. We have the most aggressive renewable mandates in the United States of America. We're doing the most to combat climate change than any other state. We have the most aggressive conservation program. We have the most aggressive anti-pollution program, because the commissioner is exactly right. Don't create the problem in the first place. And we're doing a lot of work with landowners around bodies of water to stop the pollutants and nitrogen from entering the body of water to begin with. But we have a frightening problem with these algal blooms. HABs, HABs, harmful algal blooms. These are toxic algae blooms. And they're dangerous for pets. They're dangerous for human consumption. They literally have toxins in them. This is a nationwide issue. We have it in this state, all across the state. We have it in bodies of water upstate New York that serve as drinking water. And these have been pristine bodies of water for centuries. And now they have these harmful algal blooms, and it's getting worse every year. What causes it? A myriad of things. The pollutants that are coming into the body of water, the fertilizers that we're using, the high nitrogen content, the additional warmth in the environment is warming the water and creating a breeding ground for the toxic algae. But it's here, and it's real. And literally every year it's worse than the year before. Well, what do you do about it? No one has a simple answer. And by the way, there is no simple answer. As the commissioner said, the long-term answer is stop putting the pollutants into the body of water in the first place that breeds the toxic algae. But in the meantime, short term, we have to be able to address these algal blooms. No state in the United States has the answer. There are some limited demonstration programs. And this is the best cutting-edge technology that we have been able to identify. And we want to get ahead of the curve. We want to try it. We want to see how it works. We want to see the volume of it. We want to see the product of it. And that's what this is all about. We're literally demonstrating for the first time the use of this technology, which skims the algae from the water, sucks it in, treats it, disposes of the toxic algae, and then returns clean water back to the body of water. If it works, it is very promising. Again, not a long-term solution, but to treat the damage once it is done. And it will be here for 2 weeks. We'll be monitoring it every day. DEC is working to direct this project. And we're going to see exactly how it works, how well it works, and if it works, we'll deploy it statewide. But we're just starting the test, and we're starting the test here. Lake Agawam I'm familiar with. I've enjoyed Southampton for many, many years, and I've known about Lake Agawam for many, many years. And this is actually not a new problem in Lake Agawam. It's gone on for years, but it is much worse than it has ever been. And I believe this is a great demonstration site for this technology. Frankly, it's one of the more challenging demonstration sites because the algal blooms are as bad as they are in Lake Agawam. But we said, let's test it in a place that has a serious and significant problem. And let's see the progress that we make. This lake needs treatment to begin with, and we need an answer for this lake, and we need an answer statewide. So that's why we're proud that we're starting right here. And again, I want to thank the mayor and the trustees. I want to thank County Executive Steve Bellone, because he is always on the vanguard of environmental protection and the next environmental solution. And that's exactly what we're doing today, is we're trying to come up with a solution that doesn't really exist anywhere else in the country and be the first state to come up with a way to tackle this problem. So thank you for everyone involved. Fingers crossed, this technology makes progress and we can work with it, maybe refine it. But it has been promising in other locations, and DEC has gone through the science of it. And the science works, and the modeling works, and now we'll see what it actually does in operation. Again, I applaud DEC. I want to thank the members of Southampton who were so helpful, and County Executive. Thank you all very much.
Governor Cuomo, thank you so much for being here. I cannot say anymore. We are elated that you are here. We are elated that you're here with the DEC, the county executive, our town supervisor, to help us address cleaning Lake Agawam from removing the toxic blue-green algae from our lake and our freshwater bodies, not just here locally, but across the state of New York. And we cannot be more thankful for everybody here today. I think it's interesting that when we think about climate change, we think about something that's global and national and on a large scale. But the reality is that right here, locally, in our village of Southampton, we are seeing the very effects of climate change at home. And that is visually illustrated right here in our green lake, filled with the highest level of blue-green algae and toxicity ever recorded. So working with our amazing Governor Cuomo and the rest of our team at the DEC in New York State, we're going to address one result of climate change at a time, starting here today with the removal of the blue-green algae here. So this is an incredible opportunity for not just Southampton, but for all of New York State. I also wanted to address County Executive Steve Bellone, who declared that water quality is the top priority in Suffolk County. I could not agree more. We all cannot agree more. So thank you for helping us get some laws passed as far as addressing new innovative alternative septic systems, which are critical to reducing nitrogen in our groundwater. I also wanted to thank our group of Lake Agawam homeowners and everyone in Southampton Village who has organized together, one person at a time, to form the Lake Agawam Conservancy, which has also addressed the cleanup of Lake Agawam as a top priority. So we are very grateful to have Governor Cuomo and his DEC team here today. We could not be more thankful. So with that said, we are looking forward next summer to completing this job. And Governor, we're looking forward to going fishing with you and hopefully swimming with you right here in this lake. And we're talking freshwater bass as a native species. versus some other species. So thank you again. We're all looking forward to this.
Thank you, Mayor. Great job. We are so proud to be welcoming Governor Cuomo here once again, partnering with us, leading the effort on water quality. And I want to thank all of our partners here, certainly DC Commissioner Basil Sagos and Carrie Meeks Gallagher, our regional director here, Supervisor Schneiderman, who I've had numerous conversations on this issue, and water quality has been an incredible leader, and my partner, Bridget Fleming, in the Suffolk County Legislature, who has been a great leader on the water quality issue. In fact, we were planning on a meeting tomorrow talking about this very issue with the Nature Conservancy and Nancy Kelly and Father Constantine from the Greek Orthodox Church. I will tell you, the governor, as you know, is known not just here in the state, but around the nation as an innovator, as a policy wonk, as a person who is just generating and leading on the different issues that confront us in the state and the nation. He's also known as somebody who will tend to push the envelope to get things done. I don't know if anyone's heard that reputation before. Yes. To make things happen. So I know he said to the mayor, thank you for responding so quickly. I just want to say to the governor, listen, when you get one of these innovative ideas at 3 a.m. and you want to test it out somewhere, Suffolk County and this team right here, we are ready and willing to accept anytime, Governor, because we are grateful for that partnership. We are grateful for that leadership here. Look, this is, as the governor said, the crisis, the story of our time, protecting our environment here in the state, in the country, protecting our world. This is what this is about, and we are on the front lines here in Suffolk County and Long Island. And you think about what the state has done under the governor's leadership, delivering millions of dollars for waterfront communities to protect and revitalize those communities. Hundreds of millions of dollars in water quality infrastructure. The mayor mentioned advanced septic systems. The governor delivered to Suffolk County the greatest amount of state resources for those advanced septic systems than anywhere else in the state of New York. The largest expansion of artificial reefs in New York State history. We've been out here, he's been here in Suffolk County making that happen. And of course, the largest offshore wind agreement in the nation is happening right here in Suffolk County on Long Island, leading us to a clean energy future. That's what the governor's talking about, and we all know when he's talking about this state leading our nation. And Governor, we are grateful for your leadership, for your partnership, and we will continue to stand with you as we work to protect our water quality and protect our environment here in New York. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here and for all the work that you're doing. Thank you, Governor.
So I also want to thank the Office of General Services, State Parks, DOT, who made today happen. Really, it was no silos in government, and we really all got it done today. So we'll take some on-topic questions. Any off-topic questions, the governor and the county executive will be available off to the side.
A question about this project, Governor. How concerned are you that it's somewhat of an infinitesimal amount here of algae that they're cleaning, and can the technology be applied to the bigger body of water?
2 points. Let me just refer back, if I might, to something the county executive said. We do have the most aggressive environmental programs across the board. And there is no, it's not a coincidence that as the county executive went through what we're doing, many of those projects are in Suffolk County. The state does not do anything on its own, right? There's a state government, but then you have all these counties. So we can only operate through a county, through a partner, through a village, through a mayor. And the county executive, the reason we're doing so much in Suffolk County is the county executive is the most ambitious, aggressive partner in the state when it comes to protecting the environment. And that's why so much is happening right here. This demonstration is to test the methodology and the system. If it works, we can bring it up to scale. This is a very scalable system. We're going to run it here for about 10 operating days, about 2 weeks. But that's just to test the system and the model and to make sure it's doing what we believe it should be doing. If it works, then you can bring it up to scale. It processes about 6,000 gallons of water per hour, which is a significant amount of water. And then you would scale it to the body of water that you're trying to treat. This is a relatively small body of water, this lake, with a very significant problem. But the 10 days, 2 weeks is just to test the system to make sure it's working. It's returning clear water, it's capturing the toxic blue-green algae. And if it's working, then we'll just scale it. That's why it's a demonstration.
Is there a projected cost for cleaning a lake such as this?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we would then have to project out. Does the model work? Is it scalable? How long? And what is the cost of doing it? Those would all be factors that we'd have to figure out. But I'll tell you this, when we talk about cost, I don't know that on a lot of these issues you can afford not to tackle them. You're talking about literally a body of water that can hurt people, make people sick, can kill animals. Other parts of the state, you're talking about losing your drinking water, right? What cost do you attach to that? So these environmental issues, we're at a point where this is not a question of discretion or making an arbitrary decision. I don't think we have a choice but to do these things because the planet doesn't survive and we don't survive, frankly, if we don't get ahead of these issues and tackle them.
Any other questions from the press? Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Supervisor.